November 2005. The Airbus A380, the largest commercial jet ever built, is en route to the Dubai Air Show. 560 tons at takeoff, a massive 80-meter wingspan. Airbus has designed the world's first Super Jumbo to carry up to 850 passengers in unprecedented luxury.
This aircraft cannot be a failure. Either it's going to be that flagship of the 21st century, or it's going to be a disaster.
But the A380 is running way behind schedule and in danger of becoming a financial catastrophe. If Airbus doesn't deliver by the end of 2006, customers will start cancelling orders and the company could go bust.
I think Airbus has run out of lives now. It cannot afford any more delays.
Behind the scenes, Airbus is racing against the clock to untangle a wiring problem that's become a major industrial nightmare. And the elite flight test team is battling the elements to complete the final critical phase of the A380 safety certification. Will the world's biggest airliner deliver on time? The Dubai Air Show, an international gathering of unimaginable wealth and glamour. With the snap of his golden scissors, the Emirates Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed Maktoum opens the show. The first exhibit he visits is the A380. Emirates have ordered 45 of the Super Jumbos for a first delivery in just over 1 year. At $300 million in aircraft, Emirates want to be sure that the A380 is worth their investment and running on schedule. As the Sheikh and his entourage step inside the Super Jumbo, the Airbus top brass are quick to remind them that this A380 is merely a flight test prototype. But like most A380 customers, the Sheikh has just one vital question. Like Emirates, Airbus customers throughout the world want to know when. Like Emirates, they have all invested massive sums of money in interior design, route scheduling, and airport infrastructure. All the frustrated clients need now are their A380s.
When we ordered this aircraft in 2000, we wanted it within a year or two. So we can't wait to get our hands on it.
Failure of the A380 would shift industry dominance right back to American arch-rival Boeing for decades to come. For Boeing, Airbus's troubles couldn't be better news.
Boeing is back. The future looks bright for Boeing. We've been committed to the market, and it's looking better and better.
Time is running out. Penalties and lost revenue are costing Airbus billions of dollars.
That's an awful lot of money.
And bad publicity is putting off potential new buyers. Airbus Chief Commercial Officer John Leahy is feeling the heat. With just 159 aeroplanes sold, he is still far short of the sales needed for the program to break even. Any more delays, any more bad press, and the effect on future sales could be catastrophic. With time running out and the airlines losing patience, the race is on for Airbus to deliver. But before they can deliver, Airbus still need to pass some of the most extreme safety tests ever undertaken by a passenger airliner and certify the A380 for commercial service. Today, 35-year-old engine specialist Emanuele Constanzo and his elite flight test team are putting the A380 through one of its most punishing trials, the extreme cold test. For the Super Jumbo to be commercially viable, Emanuele and his team must prove that the aeroplane can travel from scorching deserts to ice-covered lands without a hitch. With 850 passengers on board in minus 30 degrees, a faulty heating system or an unknown engine failure could be a disaster.
One day there will be clients who need to use this aircraft in temperatures this low, even a lot lower. So we need to completely verify before the clients touch it that the aircraft works normally in these extremely harsh conditions.
After shutting down the A380 and abandoning it on the frozen runway for over 15 hours, Emanuele and his team must now wake up the aircraft step by step.
We have to push the plane to the limit. That's our job.
As the temperatures hit minus 31 degrees, the team get underway with the most critical part of the test. They've powered up the electrical systems and flight calculators. Now it's time to see if the massive Rolls-Royce engines are up to the task.
Parfait. On va faire les démarrages moteurs.
At $25 million a motor, they had better perform.
Ça marche. Ok Pascal, mon top, tu peux y aller. Ok, pareil, le sol, on va cranker le 3. Ok, on peut y aller pour le 3. 3, 2, 1, top.
But there's a problem, and it looks like the worst-case scenario.
Elle a démarré ou pas du tout?
An engine component has failed, thousands of miles from home. Outside, temperatures are plummeting and the weather report is forecasting severe blizzards. Repairs will be a nightmare. Emanuele and his team now face a massive dilemma. Head back to France or wait in Iqaluit for better conditions. Unfortunately, neither option will help delivery one little bit. After a major engine failure, the world's largest airliner is stranded nearly 5,000 kilometers from its main base in southern France. To make matters worse, a severe blizzard has moved in, making repairs a nightmare. Inside the aircraft, engine specialist Emanuele Constanzo has no time for rest. After determining the source of the problem, a faulty oil pump, Emanuele now has two choices. After sending his team out into the freezing temperatures for an overnight repair job, he can either continue the extreme weather testing in the hope this problem will not recur and leave the A380 stranded, or he can abandon the tests and head home, a decision which would once again set back the entire certification campaign. It's a tough call.
I'm still quite young, and this is my first engine mission by myself, so it's difficult when there's a problem, because I'm the one who has to make a decision. You can't forget that when we break something, my mechanics have to make the repairs outside in the middle of the night and in unbearable temperatures. It's not an easy decision to make.
But Emanuele decides to take the risk and continue the extreme weather testing. With temperatures plummeting below minus 40 degrees, he sends his mechanics into the frozen Arctic night, where they successfully replace the broken oil pump. Unfortunately, the next morning, Emanuele and his team are faced with yet another setback. The temperature has risen above the minus 30 degrees for the tests to be valid. The crew has no choice but to carry on as if nothing were wrong. The powerful de-icing machines move in, while Emanuele and his team keep an anxious eye on the thermometer.
Moins 27, moins 26, c'est à remonter. Voilà. Et là, moins 31.
With the conditions suddenly perfect, the mechanics race to prepare the A380's engines for the most important and hopefully last trial of the extreme weather tests. Everyone knows that with the temperatures constantly shifting, this could be their last chance to get it right.
Je vois.
Blood pressure increasing. Yes.
Back.
As the test finally gets underway, all eyes are riveted on the monitors. The A380's 4 Rolls-Royce engines must not fail. Finally, after 3 days of arduous work in minus 30-degree conditions, everything goes to plan. The engines perform magnificently.
It's the first time engines have been fired up in such low temperatures. It's very encouraging. I'm a very happy man. We did it.
Yet another milestone has been reached on the A380's long, hard road to final certification. Unaware of the struggles to complete the flight tests in northern Canada, Airbus's Chief Commercial Officer John Leahy is now turning on the charm at the Asian Aerospace Air Show in Singapore. John knows that Singapore Airlines CEO Chu Choon Sen is growing restless. As the official launch customer of the A380, his company has invested billions of dollars on 10 of the Super Jumbos. But with rumors about further delays now flying around the press, John knows that he has to smooth over a few ruffled feathers.
Look at that. You could have 850 people.
What we need you to do is to deliver. Details.
Later in the day, John sends his flight test team on a public relations offensive. Airbus test pilot Peter Chandler gives Singapore's Senior Vice President Bae Soo Kang his first taste of the Super Jumbo. Back in the cabin, Chief Flight Test Engineer Fernando Alonso has been drafted in to give a sales pitch to the Singapore engineers. He must reassure them that the A380 is well worth the wait.
Yeah, so how do you find it? Good. The aircraft flies by itself.
Behind the doors of a discreet nearby office, another race is on. This one is to complete a state-of-the-art design for the A380 cabin interior in time for delivery of the first aircraft. As launch customer of the Super Jumbo, Singapore Airlines know they have a unique 6-month head start on the other airlines. They must take advantage of that period to prove to the world that they have invented a new era in air travel. To do so, Singapore is depending on the imagination of Mr. Sim Kim Chui. Cabin design is his job, and he has spent the last 3 years creating and testing the ultimate A380 cabin.
I think in the A380, the first time where we are redeveloping all the product. From a first class to a business class, to new economy class seat, to a new in-flight entertainment system, to new lavatories, to new color interiors, cabin interiors, etc. Everything is new.
But as the launch customer, Singapore Airlines also know that Sim's ideas must remain under lock and key. Because every other airline is waiting for the smallest clue that will enable them to outdo Sim's new cabin and capture the competitive edge.
Not so intelligent to reveal to your competitors what is that you want to do, because then it's so easy for them to surpass you.
While many of the airlines are considering using the A380's extra space to offer amenities such as casinos, bars, and even jacuzzis, the first exclusive images of Sim's cabin revealed that he is counting on a complete overhaul of the first and business class areas to give the passengers what they really want: luxury and comfort. With the first commercial flight scheduled for December 2006, Sim has just a few more months to get his cabin ready for final installation. All he needs now is an A380. Back in Toulouse, the home of Airbus, the first A380 scheduled for Singapore Airlines is finally out of the assembly hall and on its way to Hamburg. There it will be painted, tested, then outfitted with Sim's groundbreaking cabin interiors. But the good news is instantly forgotten, as a cataclysmic announcement by Airbus management sends a shockwave across the entire aviation world.
This was the worst, this is the worst thing which can happen.
After months of speculation, Airbus CEO Gustav Humbert confirms that a major wiring problem on the A380 assembly line are creating a dramatic bottleneck in the system. Another 6-month delay in the delivery schedule is inevitable. Airbus has no choice. They must now hold someone responsible. And within days of the announcement, Humbert offers his resignation, as does Noel Forjar, CEO of Airbus's parent company. Airbus customers are furious. Several are rumored to be reviewing their orders. Even worse, they may look towards rival Boeing.
Well, it's a duopoly. There's only 2 companies supplying aircraft in those markets. And if one company loses, the other one gains. It's as simple as that.
If sales don't pick up, the financial costs facing Airbus could run into the billions. But all commercial director John Leahy can do is continue selling more aeroplanes. And to do that, he has developed a spectacular concept cabin.
Pressure? What pressure? Of course you have pressure in any sales situation. But the pressure that the commercial department is under is nothing compared to the pressure our engineering and manufacturing staff are facing, because we have to meet our commitments, and we haven't. So now we have to catch up, and catching up is always a lot harder to do than getting it right the first time.
The Airbus A380 central fuselage factory in Toulouse, once a swirling hive of activity, is now running in slow motion because of the wiring problem. Feeling the heat, Charles Champion, the A380 program director and one of the founding fathers of the Super Jumbo, has brought in his top general Jean-Claude Schopf to locate the electrical problem and fix it.
Frustrated because I believe it's certainly the best aircraft today, and today we are stuck by, I would say, something which is minor, which is industrial, not technical at all, just industrial.
Each A380 contains an astonishing 500 kilometers of cabling, with 300,000 separate connections. The problem is that the German connections don't line up with the French. Jean-Claude Schopf and his team must find a solution, fast. At stake is the reputation of the entire company.
Customers are waiting for their aircraft, so we reshuffle the planning, and now we committed, and we have to deliver. And customers will not accept any longer delays.
But before Airbus can deliver, they not only have to fix the wiring problem, the A380 also needs to pass one of the final safety tests. The swimming pool test. The swimming pool test is designed to examine how the engines cope with enormous quantities of water due to poor weather, and how the aircraft handles landing on a flooded runway. To create pools of water, strips of jelly-like silicon are laid in quadrants across the runway 100 meters long and 40 meters wide. To pass the test, the Super Jumbo must run through the 2.5 centimeter deep pool at 260 kilometers per hour. Once again, Airbus engine specialist Emanuele Costanzo is on board. But today, his colleague Robert Lignier is running the show.
So the main purpose of this swimming pool test are to demonstrate that when the aircraft is going to take off or land on a runway which is completely soaked with water, there is absolutely no risk of ingestion of water by the engines that could lead to engine problems.
At $25 million each, the engines need all the protection they can get, as does the entire aircraft. Over 90% of all major airplane disasters occur at takeoff or while landing.
Oh my God, it's crashed.
Unlike this Boeing MD-11 from Lion Air, in which 26 people died in November 2004, many of the accidents are due to aquaplaning on a flooded runway. One hates to imagine what might happen if the pilot of a 560-ton A380 skidded out of control with 850 passengers on board.
There is always a possibility of something gets wrong. It's why everything is prepared. In case the aircraft leaves the runway, we have all the toolings to pull the aircraft with tractors and to bring it back to the runway.
To add to the stress of the safety risks, Robert and Emanuele are well aware that their team have no margin for error. Any bad news, any negative press could be used as the final justification for cancellations. Before the major tests can begin, the reverse engines must first be tested while the aircraft is stationary. With the power generated by the massive Rolls-Royce engines, the quantity of spray sucked into the fans is simply immense. Too much water ingested by the engines could result in serious problems. In the next stage of the test, the A380 will enter the swimming pool traveling at full takeoff speed. A feat never before attempted by an aircraft of this size. The A380, the world's largest passenger airliner, is about to speed down a runway at 260 kilometers per hour before plowing into a giant trough of water 100 meters long and 2.5 centimeters deep. It is one of aviation's most dangerous safety tests. At that speed and with that much water, the pilot will have to use all of his skills in order to maintain control of the 560-ton Super Jumbo.
The pilot should not deviate his trajectory by more than 20 centimeters. On an aircraft which is 80 meters wide, controlling 20 centimeters, it's something. Hopefully nothing will happen, but we have to be prepared for the worst case.
Not every member of his test team shares Robert's caution. His colleague Patrick Clare is itching to get going.
I'm very, very confident. It's mandatory for certification, but our model told us that there is no issues. We are very confident in the testing.
As the A380 lines up for the test, it's time to put all the models and theories aside and hope for the best. Finally, the Super Jumbo reaches the maximum speed of 110 knots, and all eyes turn to the swimming pool. Immediately upon plowing the massive A380 into the giant pool of water, a 10-meter wave is sent spraying over the wings and fuselage. For the engineers outside, everything seems perfect, and the design team are quick to congratulate themselves.
No problem. The linear engine were not impacted by the water. It's fine.
But inside the aircraft, Emanuele and Robert have detected a major problem that nobody expected.
We are in the mer. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a problème, hein?
Within minutes, there is a flurry of activity around the landing gear where the mechanics have discovered that a simple design error has created a major setback.
La pression s'effectue sur ces deux parties-là. Ça nous a fait remonter ce support et après il est reparti en arrière. Et donc là, regarde, une méga fuite, tu vois, regarde. Donc là, t'es pas très bien, quoi.
The violent water force has damaged the hydraulic pipes on the braking system. In order to avoid this problem in the future, the support structure will need to be redesigned to fit in a less vulnerable section of the landing gear.
The reason why we are doing this kind of test is just to discover this kind of problem. So we have discovered something, we have to put in place the necessary actions to solve them, and that's all.
But finding a solution will obviously take time that Airbus can no longer afford. For Singapore Airlines, the delivery date of the first A380 is rapidly approaching. Still behind closed doors, Sim Kim Chui and his colleague Betty Wong are racing to put the finishing touches on the newly designed cabin interiors. In just a few months, they will open their doors and reveal the first A380 cabin to the world.
My team and I, we have spent close to 3 years developing this product. We have done all we could, but nothing beats the day itself when we reveal the product to the public and to get their reaction.
With millions of dollars already spent on perfecting the cabin of the future, Sim and Betty know that they will have no choice but to impress. Because the second the curtain rises, the competition will be scrambling to outdo them.
Being such a big aircraft and it's a clean sheet approach, everyone will be looking at what we'll do, and of course we intend to actually set the standards of premium air travel for the industry.
Betty and her team are responsible for creating the first A380 travel experience. Toiletries, silverware, pillows, blankets, every single item must be carefully crafted to catch the passenger's eye, while fitting into the strict dimensions of a commercial aircraft.
We really like to give that a total experience so that there is they can enjoy the food, the wines, as well as watch a great movie, and before they know it, you know, it's the end of the flight, and maybe they don't even want to get off.
Creating a veritable hotel restaurant in the sky is not a simple endeavor. To ensure that the A380 dining experience is up to par with the other in-flight services, Singapore Airlines has built a unique, depressurized room to simulate high-altitude air travel. Here, Betty and her crew taste each food proposal from their elite panel of internationally renowned chefs.
It will feel like you're in a restaurant. You will get to pick and order things that you would see on a restaurant menu and the way you would eat it in a restaurant.
The prestige and the reputation of Singapore Airlines now rests in the capable hands of Betty Wong and Sim Kim Chui. Back in Europe, the A380 is the star of yet another international air show. But in the Airbus tent, nobody is celebrating. The newly appointed CEO, Christian Strife, has come to share some bad news that he is not looking forward to breaking.
First of all, A380 is a great aircraft. Now we are late in deliveries. We at Airbus not only fully understand the disappointment of our customers, we are disappointed about ourselves. It's a situation we want and we will change as rapidly as possible. I'm convinced today, only after 2 weeks, that Airbus...
But the press want answers, and Chief Commercial Officer John Leahy knows that this time, Airbus had better put their pride aside and start doing some explaining.
Can you say whether you expect some airlines to cancel their orders now because of the mess you made on the delivery?
Do you expect further management changes? What did go wrong, do you believe?
This is a difficult time. Very difficult time. Is the A380 program in jeopardy? Of course it is. We did it to ourselves. In fact, I think this is one of those classic cases where you shoot yourself in both feet with one bullet.
Back at the A380 final assembly line, Executive Enforcer Jean-Claude Schopf has been on a mission to find out exactly how Airbus shot itself in the foot. So far, they know that wiring laid in the fuselage sections manufactured in Germany did not properly join together with the French fuselages. This forced Toulouse to remount the 500 kilometers of cable and 300,000 connection points previously installed in Hamburg. A painstaking process and a colossal waste of time and labor. Only now has Schopf discovered exactly what did go wrong. Almost unbelievably, one of the world's largest production lines has been brought to a near standstill because the Airbus factories in Germany and France were using different software for their digital mock-ups. The entire Airbus A380 project was vaunted as a coming together of the great European countries. Ironically, the very spirit of international cooperation could be the A380's final undoing. But at least the fixer, Jean-Claude Schopf, can offer a solution. Force Germany to use the French software, retrain the staff and retool the factories. But that's going to take time. Just how much, nobody yet knows. Schopf and his team have 100 days to deliver their full report to CEO Strife. At that point, he will determine the future. Ultimately, Airbus hopes to deliver one A380 a week. But at present, it can't even deliver one a month, or even just one.
Singapore is simply the first aircraft we have to rework and to redesign industrially. So today we stopped the cabin installation in order to finalize the electrical harnesses. Our challenge is to deliver Singapore with the aircraft they need in order to open the routes and not to jeopardize their business case.
While Airbus engineers continue the redesign of the broken brake system on test aircraft number 1, just a few miles from the final assembly hall, another A380 test aircraft is in final preparations for one of the last hurdles of the flight test campaign, the long-haul flight tests. These critical tests set out to finally determine if the A380 truly has the extraordinary passenger comfort levels that Airbus has been vaunting to clients throughout the world. For the first time ever, this A380 will have 473 passengers on board, but not the paying kind. Without certification, the aircraft can't yet accept members of the public. Instead, a lottery has been held among volunteers from Airbus's 15,000 thrilled employees.
A bit of a milestone, to say one of the first people to be on an A380 flying, so looking forward to that. It should be good fun. Something to tell the grandkids and the kids.
We are trying to imagine what kind of flight we will do. If we will fly over Spain or maybe north of Europe, but we don't know, so it will be a big surprise for us.
I feel a little apprehensive. Obviously, I know it's flown thousands of hours, but I say with being the first people on the aircraft, a bit sort of apprehensive.
In this vital test, the A380 cabins must be fully assessed under normal flight conditions. Passenger opinions will be sought on all the usual amenities, such as legroom, toilets, air conditioning, heating, food quality, and overall comfort levels. Although the passengers will all be Airbus employees, Airbus knows that the world's press will be eager for their first impressions. This last test is the ultimate one, to test what the aircraft was designed for, passenger comfort.
Bonjour, welcome on board.
Though this test aircraft is outfitted with simplicity in mind, the moment the Airbus employees step inside, they discover the immensity of the A380 cabin. With nearly 50% more deck space than a Boeing 747, the Super Jumbo can accommodate wider seats and larger aisles than any other commercial airliner. From the first class to the business class and even the economy areas, the A380 customers are all planning to provide their passengers with an unprecedented flight experience. While the passengers settle into their seats for takeoff, in the cockpit, the pilots know that this is still a test flight with all the associated risks.
In flight test, you should never be too confident. The trick of the job is to be permanently cautious.
For the Airbus employees on board, this flight is a unique opportunity to appreciate the results of many years' hard work. A welcome chance to relax and savor a job well done.
C'est vrai qu'aujourd'hui, c'est l'aboutissement des efforts de toutes les équipes qui ont été faites et c'est vraiment quelque chose d'exceptionnel, quoi.
But while the Airbus staff enjoy their free trip in the air, the maneuvering in the boardroom continues. Fernando Alonso, Vice President of the Airbus Flight Test Team, and Ander Krozels, an Airbus press manager, are called in to break some more shocking news.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. An internal announcement to all Airbus employees is being made at this moment, and we wanted you to be aware of this information. Following discussions with Christian Streff, Charles Champion has agreed to step down as head of the program and chief operating officer of Airbus.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. This first flight is really an homage to Charles. And keep enjoying the flight, and when you come back to Toulouse, let you not be disturbed by all these management changes. What is important is that we have a fantastic product in our hands, and we're all very proud of it, and I think this pride should be shown to everyone who's really waiting for us. Thanks very much.
After 18 years at Airbus and 6 on the A380 program, Charles Champion was seen as one of the Super Jumbo's founding fathers. For many, the A380 is Charles' plane.
It's a bit like when you have children and then at one stage you see your children leaving you, and really somehow I have also to detach myself at one stage from the program and say now no, it's not me anymore, and the other guys will do a great job.
As Charles Champion leaves the project behind, the test aircraft finally sets back down in Toulouse. After a 7-hour flight around Europe, the employees and crew do their best to put aside the dramatic management changes and simply recount their adventure.
Et les passagers sont ravis, ils sont enthousiastes, c'est un confort extraordinaire, vous pouvez leur poser la question à eux.
Vous avez pu dormir?
Non, on n'a pas eu le temps. Non, on s'est baladé. On n'a pas eu le temps de dormir, de lire, de rien du tout. On s'est promené. C'était génial.
Vraiment, on se sent pas voyager dans cet avion-là. Je pense qu'on a vraiment réussi quelque chose d'exceptionnel. Alors, la prochaine étape?
La prochaine étape, c'est la certification à la fin de l'année et puis l'entrée en service.
But everyone at Airbus now knows that before they can even think about delivery, they still have to clear the production line bottleneck. After his 100-day audit, Chief Executive Christian Streff is preparing yet another bombshell. On October the 3rd, 2006, Streff announces that delivery of the A380 must be postponed for another 12 months. The Super Jumbo is now 2 years behind schedule and millions of dollars overspent. For the first time ever, there is a very serious risk that orders will be cancelled. Suddenly, Chief Commercial Officer John Leahy has a lot more work than just selling aeroplanes.
As I travel around the world talking to the world's airlines, you can imagine that most of them are in a state of shock. We don't expect to keep all of them on board, but the key core customers are the ones that will make or break this program. If they head for the exits, this can win aviation awards, and we may fly at Oshkosh this coming summer, but it'll go down in aviation history, unfortunately, as a white elephant.
The fate of the world's biggest airliner is now hanging in the balance. In what is turning out to be the most difficult period in the history of the European plane maker Airbus, delivery of the world's biggest airliner, the A380, has been pushed back by a full 2 years. And the head of the A380 program, Charles Champion, has stepped down. Airbus now has his back against the wall as the customers' threats of order cancellations are becoming the subject of serious negotiations.
This is a difficult time, very difficult time. Different airlines' needs change, and if you delay an airplane first by 6 months, second by another 6 months, and then third, another 12 months for a 2-year delay, some airlines will change their mind.
Fortunately for Airbus, one customer that has not changed its mind is Singapore Airlines. As the A380 launch customer, Singapore has already invested tremendous amounts of money secretly preparing for the Super Jumbo, and they are not about to stop in mid-course. Today, Singapore has decided to open their doors so that the world's media can finally discover their all-new cabin interiors, 3 long years in the making. Designers Betty Wong and Sim Kim Chui are feeling the pressure. When the curtains rise, their designs must convince the world that they have created the ultimate in-flight experience to change the way people travel forever.
Frankly, I didn't sleep very well because I think the adrenaline is just too much. This is the time. to show the world.
10 more minutes. This is a moment of truth. I can't wait for this day to come. This is a day where I'll be free. No more secrets to keep.
Please welcome Mr. Bezukia.
What we are about to show you this morning is the industry's next generation of cabin products. And now, my friends, join me as we review the new and exciting travel experience crafted especially for you.
For Sim and Betty, the enthusiastic response is a huge relief. They've successfully created the most luxurious business class cabin in the world. The additional space of the A380 allows Singapore Airlines to offer not just the widest seats in their class, but also the very first to be fully reclinable. And every single one has direct aisle access. But today for Sim and Betty, there's a twist. Because of the new delays, nearly everything on display is now destined for the Boeing 777, a huge blow to Airbus's prestige. Sim now has one more year to recreate the A380 first-class cabin, but he doesn't mind. He has plenty of ideas where these came from.
Okay. Closing on one chapter. I'll be back for the A380.
As for the rest of the Singapore Airlines staff and management, not only have they decided to maintain their order for 10 A380s, but they have placed a new order to buy 9 more. But unfortunately for Airbus, not all of the customers are as patient as Singapore. On November the 7th, 2006, the American freighter company Federal Express cancels its order for 10 A380 cargo planes, choosing 15 Boeing 777s instead. Yet another point won for Boeing in one of the business world's greatest head-to-heads. Despite the seemingly endless stream of bad news for Airbus, a month later sees some good news for the beleaguered executives. After 2,600 hours of exhaustive flight testing, 450 takeoffs in the most extreme conditions ever imposed on an aircraft, and visits to 38 airports worldwide, the A380 achieves final certification from the American and European aviation authorities.
The A380 is ready for takeoff.
The A380, the world's biggest airliner, has officially become a commercial aircraft, approved to carry up to 850 paying passengers. But now with 159 aircraft on the order books for customers around the world, what they have to do is deliver.
Once this airplane does get delivered, once this airplane is flying into London Heathrow, Los Angeles, Singapore, and Sydney, it will be a whole new day.
In total, the production delays are expected to cost Airbus a staggering $4 billion. Which means John Leahy will now have to sell even more A380s for the program to break even. But this can only happen when the industry and the world's press finally see paying passengers happily traveling the world in the Super Jumbo. Only the next 12 months will tell if the world is ready for the giant of the skies, the Airbus A380.
Mike Rowe wrestles with some water snakes and takes a beating. Then he opens up the mailbag for some questions on Dirty Jobs, Thursday.